already. Let me see.
There you go. Hey, there's a big smile. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to One Love Center for Spiritual Living. I am Rodney Gittens here with Leda Pérez, and we are here for another installation of One Love Center Presents One Love Center Celebration. We're here for love. We're here for one love. And we're going to start, as we usually do, with our opening song, Choosing Heaven. Your job, should you choose to accept it, and hopefully you know by now, accept it or not, you're already doing it. You're already choosing what heaven looks like for you in each and every moment with each and every breath. So, the joy, the love, the peace, the harmony, whatever it is that you desire for heaven to look like in your life today. And as I always say, the joy, the heaven that you choose for yourself is what you're choosing for all others. Why? Because we're all one. And what's good for one is good for all. All
Mhm.
right. So, and we're talking the highest good. Okay. Can't go wrong with the spiritual good. So here we go. Choosing heaven today. Yes, greetings, greetings. Welcome again, One Love Center. And thank you for being here. You could be anywhere else. We're glad you chose to be here, whether you're watching live or the recording. Thank you for your time. And please feel free to share what's happening here. So, what's happening here is we are on a mission. We are on a divine mission, which is of the utmost importance. It's to provide a stable, welcoming community for all who choose to learn, practice, grow, and play in the unfolding of their understanding of spiritual principles and spiritual living. So it's all about spiritual living, isn't it? And our vision, we envision, this is what we see. This is what the mission is all about. We envision a world as a sacred environment where spiritual living flourishes through the continual growth and development of learning and the application of spiritual principles. Makes sense, right? This is a spiritual world, and we're using spiritual principles, spiritual law to enhance our lives. Simple. So we practice compassion in service, love in action, and joyous, prosperous giving in a community. So we tithe and we share, we put into circulation the flow of money and time and our efforts in ways besides just on Sunday. So we say, welcome to a place where love grows. You are most welcome and thank you for your love. And so at this point, we're going to take it into prayer. We've already got the foundation set. We sang ourselves into, into our celebration, and now we're going to get centered in prayer. So I invite you to join me as I invite each one into this opening prayer, this evocation, evoking the word of the divine from within. So just take a breath and just join in on this knowingness. And what it is that is known is that there's only one power, one presence, one life. That life is the life of the Creator, God's life, whatever name you choose to use, doesn't matter. There's only one. And that life is lived through each and every one of us, ones of the one, that we get to know that we are the creations of the Creator here for a specific reason, for that divine design that shows up individually expressing as each and every one of us, ones of the one. And One Love Center for Spiritual Living is indeed part and parcel of this oneness, developed to provide the information, the knowledge, the wisdom of spiritual wisdom, spiritual living. So each one is invited in the here and now to participate in today's celebration. I give thanks for knowing that the right and perfect music is selected, right and perfect words are being shared by Leda, Pérez, and myself, knowing that we are the instruments of the divine, as is each and every one. And today, our way of providing the instrument is through the words that are coming through the one mind in which we all share. And so we're talking about flowing ground. We are talking about how we are grounded in the flow of life. I'm talking about, it's physical, but let's get metaphysical. Okay, we're sticking at landing. We are showing off God's goodness in, through, and as us as we move and progress and evolve in our ascension, in our awareness of truth. And so, again, each one is invited to play along, to sing along, to engage in the conversation through our comments through the chat. Talking about beginnings, about how we live in this life, how this life lives as us. So for this and so much more, I give thanks, knowing it is done. It is good. It is being revealed as good right now. And I affirm it by saying, and so it is, and now it is. Yes, peace and blessings. It's party time. Yeah. So at this time, we're going to talk about prayer support and actually have Leda lead us in this part.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And it's such a pleasure to be here with you this morning, this afternoon. So we are going to share a little bit about the prayer and what that means, and what you just heard Reverend Rodney do is an affirmative prayer. So One Love Center has prayer professionals ready, willing, and able to remind you that Spirit is full of power, charged and ready within you for your immediate use. So if you have any requests for prayer, please, you can email revrod17@gmail, or you can call 844-295-5155. And please know that all your prayer requests are kept in the strictest of confidence. Thank you for sharing with us. We're here to help you, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you so much for that. And something also that's very important is if you need more time than just sending or getting a prayer request, we're available for that as well. Here at One Love Center, myself, Ellen Swazo, a practitioner, Hajar Rahim, and if you don't use us, use somebody. We have churches, centers around the world, and prayer is always available. And as I mentioned, if you need more time, you can connect with me. You can connect with us, and we can create a time for a spiritual session. And it's usually at cost. However, no one is turned away. So if you don't feel like or think that you have enough money and you don't even know how much it's going to cost, that's all right. Just contact us, and we will make it happen. And it's all about being here for one another. And that's one of the ways in which we get to share the love. So thank you again for showing up. Thank you for being here. And thank you again, Leda, for joining in. Most definitely a wise woman here.
Yeah.
And humble, as you can see. However, we're closing. We're in the middle of the month, and we've been talking about sticking the landing, which, as many of you know, it's a gymnastic phrase from when you finish your gymnastic exercise and you're flipping through the air, or however you do, you make a landing. And of course, that's one of the biggest parts of the whole exercise is the landing. You just don't land and like, okay, I'm done. Right? You do it with flair, you flourish, and strike a pose, know. And that's the biggest thing, because you can have a crappy performance, but you go with your chest out, your arms out. Yes, I nailed it. And and sometimes that's the only thing that people will remember is like how you landed. So, we're going through life. We're going through each and every month. We're talking about these spiritual principles and laws and ways in which we are aligning ourselves with the truth. And yes, we're going to stumble throughout our lives, throughout the day, throughout the moments. But what are we looking like when we're done? I mean, I remember a time I was going to the beach. I was just marveling at the ocean and the sand and the beautiful sky, and I tripped because I wasn't watching where I was going. It seemed like it was slow motion. I was twisting and I'm falling, and right at the last second, I caught myself. I'm okay, And it was so interesting because the only part I really remember is I'm okay, and that's what people saw, and some people were like, wow, that was really great, and I'm like, shoo, I almost landed on my face, And so we think about, wow, this sticking the landing, and we're talking about flowing ground. It seems like a flowing ground. It sounds like, oh my God, what is it? Lava? Is it an earthquake? What's going on? Why? How does this ground flow? We're grounded, and as in this physical realm, in this physical presence, we show as human beings, as we like to say, spiritual beings having a human experience, we like to have solid ground. We want to feel 100% sure of where we are and what we're doing at every moment. Is that right? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. However, and because it gives us a measure of control also. I feel safe and secure. I'm in control. I know that every step is going to be safe. However, that's just on the human level. We know when you come into this teaching, we know that we don't necessarily have to be deceived by what we consider solid ground. And our dreams don't exist in solid ground. Our intentions don't exist in solid ground. Where do they exist? Where is this thinking happening? As you heard in the prayer, it's about the one mind. Well, that's certainly not solid. You can't put your hands on it. Can't even really see the one mind. It's like you can't see what we call God or the creator or the universe. We can't see that thing that we label. However, we know there's something there. That power is there. That energy, that invisible energy is there that creates everything out of itself. Isn't that so? And so one of the things that we want to mention is about consciousness. Consciousness is certainly not solid ground. However, there is something solid to it. And there is something grounding about it. Yes? Would you agree, Leda and everybody else?
Mm-hmm.
And so we are tapping into the infinite presence, this awareness of the infinite presence, making ourselves available. How? Available to God, as many of you hear. Like, yes, I'm open to God. I'm available to God. I use whatever tools that are necessary for me to connect with this. So how can you feel grounded when you're using meditation? It's like, how does that really work? But we know it does. We don't even have to know how. That's the best part about it.
Right.
So, yeah, and so all of what we're talking about today, what we've been talking about all year, and this month especially, is the work that we get to do, and you can call it play, whatever you want to call it, in order to feel that connection. And that's why I say this is almost like a beginning, because this is where it starts, being aware of what we're being connected with and the fact that we are connected. Okay, so it's really important to allow ourselves a moment to have the awareness that there is something first and foremost. We're not just like bumps on a log and with no activity, and why are we here? And so what we do is we want to converse in order to bring awareness to what there is and why there is. And so remember, there is a power of the mind, and it's flexible. It creates everything out of itself. The one mind, the mind that creates everything. And we don't say the body that does it, it's the mind that does it. And here's a quote that I'd like to share, and we're going to start off with the quotes. It says, in dealing with the subtle power of mind and spirit, we are dealing with a fluent force. There's that flow, right? A fluent force. It is forever taking form and forever deserting the form which it has taken. That's from Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science, Science of Mind and Spirit. The Science of Mind textbook, page 53, third paragraph. And so here it is. We're saying there's a power of mind. It's subtle. It's not yelling. It's not screaming. It's not saying, look at me, here I am. Mm-hmm. The power of mind and spirit. It just is. It is. And it's a fluent force. It's flowing. It's moving in and out, the ebb and flow of life. And I love because it's forever taking form. And it's not the same form. I'm sure I talked about this at the beginning of the year. If you think about a snowflake, and I got to admit, I would like to be proven that no two snowflakes are alike. It's I guess scientifically proven. I just have difficulty sometimes imagining the immenseness of all the snow that has ever fallen in the life of this planet. My life, anybody's life, everybody's life, that not two snowflakes are alike, that's forever taking form over and over and over and forever deserting that form. It's like they don't just stay forever. It's like we don't just stay forever in this one form. I'm like, wow, that is amazing. Did you want to speak to anything about that?
And you said all about the snowflakes, the sands, the beach.
Yes.
How
Yes.
many sands are so different from one another, and so it is for us that we are so different, yet we all share a commonality. We all come together and group into something grand and expansive and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what made me think of it as well, as while you were talking and sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's another quote. It says, "There are no fixtures in nature. The universe is fluid and volatile. Volatile. Permanence is but a word of degrees. Our world, seen by God, is a transparent law, not a mass of facts. The law dissolves the fact and holds it fluid." So we're talking about, again, the flowing ground. It's like the ground is something that we know as stable, as we know as, at least on this planet, permanent. All right. However, in God, God is like, you might think so on your human level, but our world is a transparent law, not a mass of fact. Like, yes, the ground is that way now and forever. So yeah, go ahead. Did you want to talk about this by Emerson?
Nope, I was just go ahead.
Yeah, so there are no fixtures in nature. Nothing ever remains the same. There was an old song way back when, that nothing ever remains the same, and we somehow, especially in our humanness, want things to look the same yesterday, today, and for as long as we're around. you know, it's like we want that security to, like, yeah, that hasn't changed. The plants and the trees, the flowers. We want them to always be looking in the way that we want them to look. Yes, that's so beautiful, and that's just not the way it's going to be. Uh, there's a practice that I do every now and then. I look at a rock, and I imagine that that rock is not going to look the same every day, and so it's my job to imagine, if I can't see it with my eyes, to see it with my mind, that there is some slight difference with that rock or the table or the tree or whatever it is that I'm looking at, because there is nothing that is fixed. It's not a mass of fact that's always going to be the same. Everything is made up of atoms, molecules, and they're always moving, they're flowing. Nothing is stagnant. Nothing, even a stagnant lake, is not truly stagnant. There's life going on. And sometimes we just want to feel, as I mentioned, safe and secure, that it's the same, that I can trust my eyes, my five senses, so that way I feel like, yeah, I know where I am. In fact, I think I know who I am. I can look in the mirror and think that everything looks the same as it did yesterday, and that's not the case.
No, we evolve, don't we? And that evolvement of us transforms us.
Mm.
It allows for that expansion into the infinite. So that's how I see it, is that there's, without that constant flow that's going through, we evolve to the circumstances of our environment. And in that, we become transformed. And through that, we then, as
Mm.
I said, we expand into this infinite possibilities of who we are and what we can be, and what we can experience.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that. See, I told you she was a wise woman. Yeah. And thank you. And that's true. It's all a part of our the E word, expansion, evolution, and then the
Right.
A word, ascension.
Essential.
We are, as I mentioned in the beginning of the month, I mentioned before, we are, as Reverend Michael Beckwith said, Dr. Reverend Michael, we are descended masters. We are
Mm,
from the one. We emerge from the one mind into form, from a thought into form as ta-da,
mm,
me, you, us.
we.
But is this the end of it? Is the end just that, hey, I've arrived? Well, we're not there yet, wherever there is.
Mm,
We're partially there. We're here in this form because that's it. For whatever reason,
mm,
it's because I get to today be what I look like and do today. Like we get to be, do, and have. However, there's more to it than that because we got to get back to being. It's not just about doing and having. Yes, I get to have this, all this stuff on a material, level. I got the ground. I got this. I got these things. The mass, that is in form, and I've got it. It doesn't end there because that stuff, as dissipates. It flows into and out of form. So we
mhm.
never really get to hold on to these things. But what's the most important thing that we get to be? We get
Yeah.
to be, we get to be aware, we get to be ascending, because now that we have descended, what left to do? I
And it's
always,
part of
yeah.
us trying to make a difference in our lives, but in a difference in the lives of others. So isn't
Mhm,
it wonderful um, that we get to, once we are uh, here, uh, I think the purpose of so many people is that they want to be able to engage and make a difference,
mhm,
to be significant and share their qualities, and also find out about others. Learn from others, and
mhm.
and and make a difference, not just in others, but that others are making a difference in us as well.
Absolutely. And we do that on an individual basis
Mhm.
because we are us. This is where our growth is,
Mm,
within this form. However, it's not just for us to grow. It's like, oh yeah, now I'm grown. You
mm,
know, there is much more to it than that. And one of the important things is we don't do it for ourselves. Otherwise, it's like that song: "No man is an island, no man stands alone." You
mhm,
know, we grow into who we are to be, prayerfully, hopefully, knowingly, be the best that we can be. And along the way, we still get to be, do, and have the experience of why we are here. And
mhm.
here's a quote I'd like to add. Would you like to read that?
Sure. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed individuals can change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has. I love that quote, Margaret Mead. It's
Mhm,
so true that, in the work that I do, there were 7 individuals who decided to step outside of their comfort zone. And I deal, as you know, in mental wellness in our community. These 7 individuals had formed a group that they called WANA, We Are Not Alone.
mhm,
And that group was so integral in their recovery that they continued after they were released from that facility to still meet. And so every day they would meet on the steps of the library, and every day they would just support each other. Well, 2 women found out about it and said, there's a house over here if you want to meet there instead. So they
mhm,
started meeting there, and they put a newsletter together, and somebody made sandwiches, and somebody, brought furniture in, and they started something that they didn't realize that they were starting. And what they created was a movement. And those 7 patients were on the steps of the New York City Library back in 1948. And since that time, there are over 350 clubhouses all over the world. So when a
wow.
group of people come together, great things can happen. Isn't that just a wonderful story about resilience and commonality and force and nature, and how they made a difference just because they felt a certain way when they were together? So that group started a movement. And that's what we all do. We get together and we like minds love, like in science of mind, how many centers are there in the world? We don't realize one person can start a movement.
That's
Jesus
right.
Christ started a movement.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
we all can do that. We all have that power. We all have that innate nature in us to want to expand, to evolve and explore and transform. So yeah.
Awesome. And thank you for that. That's a great example. And a small group of committed people.
Yeah.
And you never know how these things are born. I mean, they were supporting themselves
Exactly.
and looking to grow to a world making change worldwide, for people to have support.
Mhm.
It's interesting because a lot of times we might think, why me?
Mm.
Why not you?
Right.
And it's the cause. It's like, okay, the greater cause wasn't necessarily revealed in the beginning. It
Mhm.
was revealed through, serving each other,
Right.
helping each other, like 12-step groups, you
Yes,
know.
exactly like that. Mhm.
And look, these are worldwide in so many, in all the different languages. And oh my
Right.
gosh, I could not eat. I could not, would not want to imagine what the world would be like without AA or NA or any of those A's and anonymous programs, or the group self-help groups, or groups
Mhm.
like you mentioned, the Oral Clubhouse where you're at.
Mhm.
What would it's and I can see on the streets here in New York City those who do not get that support and do not get that help,
Mhm.
and it's really important because otherwise people are just left out there, you know on the solid ground,
Mhm.
thinking that this is what it's got to look like day in, day out,
Right.
and there's no flow to their lives.
Mm.
They don't have a structure that's allowing them to flow through life. They're
Mhm.
feeling stuck in life.
Right.
And it could be somebody with a 9 to 5 job, or with the family, and everything looks good on the outside, and they're feeling stagnant on the inside. you
Right.
know and so many different ways for us to get the help we need, even if we don't think we need it. And that's the important thing. And so
Mhm.
that's why I think I love, no, why I know I love what we do, what we're doing here, spreading the word that, yeah, it is possible to get help, whether you think you need it or not,
Mhm.
whether you want to call it help. It's just an
Mhm.
awareness of
And
truth.
it's available for everyone.
Yes.
But it's important that I say this all the time. Well, I don't believe in that woo woo. What you think about, you bring about. But you know what? It whether you believe it or not, it still works. I mean, exactly what you're thinking, exactly what your beliefs are. All of that is reacting to that thought.
That's right.
So
That's
whether
right.
you believe it or not is irrelevant. It it works all the time, every time, to
And
all.
try it out. Yeah. I mean, I always invite people to try it out. If you think it doesn't work, try it.
Mhm.
See how it feels and let us know.
Mhm.
So the main thing is, whether you believe it or not, it is working. Like Leda said, is is it working for you? How do they say that nowadays? How's
Right.
that working for you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And you at any time able to be in the flow. You don't
Mm.
have to be feeling like you're stuck on solid ground, which is there to support you. However, there's a flowing ground that can take you even further, that can move you through
Right.
some of this, the stuckness
Mhm.
that we might get to experience. Um,
Mhm. So you can stick that landing as you go through it.
Yes, absolutely. No matter what that exercise looks like, you can still land up smelling good, looking good.
Right.
Yeah. So there's another quote that came to mind while Leda was talking, and here it is. So find me one person who is for something and against nothing,
Mm.
who is redeemed enough not to condemn others out of the burden of their soul, and I will find another Savior, another Jesus, and an exalted human being. Ernest Holmes' A Sermon by the Sea lecture.
Mhm.
Now, here's what I want to say about this. A lot of times, most of the time, every time, people put Jesus up on a pedestal. Like he is the exception. Nobody can do it like him, and nobody even better think that they can because they're not Jesus. You know, uh, the truth is that Jesus was like, yo, listen, here are the lessons. Yes, I'm the teacher. You call me the teacher. You call me the master teacher. You know, rabbi, rebbe, however you want to say it. And his life and purpose was to not just say, hey, look at me. You know, it was like, yeah, look at me, listen and learn and do these things. The things that I do, you can do this and even greater.
Greater thing. I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Right.
Greater than this, you can do.
Mhm.
You know, it's not just for me. I know what I can do. You can do it too, you know, and
Isn't
that's why.
though that just to hear that greater things you can do this, but greater things can you do? That, oh
Imagine.
my goodness, and we never see ourselves at that level. We never
Right.
see ourselves as that being something possible. But each and every one of us have an opportunity to contribute to humanity in greater ways. How
Yeah,
amazing is that? If you can just take even a small amount of belief in that,
that's right.
the shifts that you can make in your own community, if not your community, in your own home, start there, and then your community, and then expand to to the city, the state. There's so much that can be done, but you have to believe in that. And
Yes.
to hear that even Jesus was like, well, I sure I can do this, but you can do it too. We can all do it. So we all have that power. We all have that energy, that love for wanting to do great things, to help and support. And again, going back to being expansive, to do something more, to bring yourself in that flow that allows you to, go along with what is great for all.
Well, absolutely. Thank you again. I'm so glad you came on with me today. You know, and there's another E word, exalted. You know, we get to lift ourselves up.
Mm-hmm.
Two more things I would like to say about that. Number one is yes, we talk about being for something and against nothing.
Nothing.
When we're against something, we are actually creating a power within that something,
Right.
you know, that really is nothing. You know, it's like
Mhm.
it's nothing. Don't give time and energy to it because then you are giving it a power that it doesn't have on its own.
And Mother
So
Teresa even said, "Don't invite me to an anti-war, march. Invite me to a peace rally. That I
yeah.
will go to. But anti-war, no, she's not going to that." So, yeah, it's you have to be careful about where you choose to flow.
Right. And just think about what you're putting your energy against, pushing against something.
Mm-hmm.
And if you push against a wall, you're going to feel it. You know, you're going to feel that your energy pushing back at you. You
Right.
know, so the other thing I want to mention is about Jesus. A
Mm.
lot of people are like, no, Jesus is, you know, the one and only. And however, in the second breath, they say, I follow Jesus. Really? You know, there's a bumper sticker that's becoming more prevalent now. It says on the back of the car, it says, "Would you follow Jesus this close?" Yeah, you know, to keep people from tailgating. Yeah. However, how many followers of Jesus? Like, if you think of follow the leader, how does
Mhm.
that work? You do the same thing that the leader does,
Mhm.
right? If they're climbing a fence, hey guys, follow me.
Mhm.
The leader does it, and everybody else does the same thing.
Everyone wants to follow Jesus.
Right.
Mm.
So is that happening? I'm not beating anybody up. I'm just saying this is the awareness that we have with that we get to have in the flow of life, in the flow of spiritual leadership.
Right.
Do you stop and like, hey, Jesus, where you going? What are you doing? You know, I can't do that. You know, well, either you follow me or you don't. Either way, you have the power to do what it is you need to do to get to where you want to go, to
Right.
be who you are intended to be. Uh, the God, Father, you know, Mother God, however you want to call it, has made us with all the power and energy and that we need to have the kind of life we choose to live. And there's some questions that I want to bring up right now when it comes to using your power, using your energy, using the thought, using your mind, and they're very simple. And you have access to that right now. What's the first question?
The discussion question was, what are some of the best ways I can make a difference? That one?
Yeah, bring that up, would you please?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is it about solid ground, just sticking at a spot, not moving and feeling safe and secure? Or what are some of the best ways that you can make a difference? And this is your personal work. It's like what we're all individualized expressions of the one. We weren't all made to be the same, look the same, do the same, or have the same. You know, we're all from the same fruits from the same tree.
And yet we're
right. However, we are still individual. And thank God. I always fought to be different when I was a kid. I thought I was rebellious. I thought I was, nonconformist. And what did I do? I hung out with other people who were nonconforming. So yeah, how different was I? I was conforming with the nonconformists. However, how can you make a difference in your life? And since you're doing it in your life, something different from day to day, it's going to show up differently for others. And they're going to notice that. Right. And it's going to make a difference for them. And what's the next question?
Go
ahead. Would you read that?
Sure. What is a good I can name for my own life and name for the world? What is a good that I can name for my own life and for the world? The wishes, hopes, and dreams that you have. It's always about the goodness of what you can do or be or have. What can that be? What is that name? What is it for you? And then not just for you, but for the world. We're in a very strange time right now where a lot of us are a little apprehensive of what we're coming up in 2025. But what good can I name for myself in that? Let's look at the good of that, because I truly believe that nothing comes to you that isn't for your greater learning. Yes. Right? So what is it that I can name for myself and also know that for the world as well? How do you see that, Reverend?
Well, absolutely. And remember, it's name it and claim it. It's, we just don't want to put a name or a label on it. We want to live it. We want to come from that place. And the good that I can name for my own life and for the world is, what good is it that I desire? Because as I mentioned in an opening prayer, the good that I desire for myself is the good that I want for all, because we are all one. We're all of the one. And so the good of universal love, universal peace that I want for myself, that I want to feel that peace within me. It starts with me, begins with me, and that me, and we're talking, that metaphysical experience, it doesn't just end with me. It transcends space and time. It's the flowing ground. It's just not just for me to sit and feel, yes, I am at peace. There's more to it than that. And as I am peace and I get to be the peace, other people get to see that as well.
Yeah. So here's the next question. You want to go ahead and read that?
Well, what are some old beliefs that I need to release to shift the ground of my life? Yeah. So the ground can shift. It doesn't have to be an earthquake,
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be tumultuous. It doesn't have to be chaos, but just a shift the ground, shift to higher ground. So, old beliefs are like, I can't, anything, anything that comes after that, I can't, that was an old belief that I can't be, ever be smart. I can't ever be, loved or loving. Those were old beliefs that I had as a child. And thank God, I'm grateful, I thank all of the teachers in my life, that, and some of them weren't all, lovey-dovey teachers. There were some hard experienced teachers
Mm-hmm.
that demanded a shift in the ground. I had to move.
Right.
I had to be in the flow
Sometimes the pain has to be so difficult that you finally make the move,
and have a choice. I
out of
don't.
this.
I don't have to stay here and be stuck in the ground.
Yes.
There's a flow. There's a shift happening, and if I don't move, it's like the spiritual, uh, 2x4.
Yeah.
About the spiritual 2x4. Well, I think it starts off as a spiritual feather.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this little nice, hey, I think you need to move now, and I'm like, oh, that feels good. Yeah, right where I am. And then, you get the spiritual 2x4. It's like, hey, time to wake up and move. And
Right.
how many people don't move right away?
I'll
So
tell you, I had that experience in my life where I had, I think I've shared it before, vied for the position at a company.
Mhm.
And I vied for the third time and did not get it. And I thought, oh my gosh, what am I doing wrong? And that was that 2x4 for the third time being told, nope, this is not for you. But because of that, I opened up to the possibility of what could be. And something came across that I never even considered. And because of that denial, a greater experience happened for me,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, just stepping aside and knowing that there's something greater for that experience. That was an eye opener for me. So letting go and just
Yeah.
going.
And here's a quote. It says, "Be receptive to the inflow and outpouring of the universe" by Eric Butterworth. And yeah, otherwise, the good that we desire is just sitting there waiting. It's
Mhm.
like well, I'm here. You have to move though. You
Yes.
know, there's an inflow. Be open to the flow. It's like when we talk about our prosperity and circulation. If you have a closed hands, not only can you not receive, you
Mhm.
can't give. You can't give or receive with a closed hand. So we have to be open to inflow and outflow. This
Mhm.
is our spiritual nature.
Yeah.
If we think I'm going to just stay stuck on a log or a rock or the ground and feel like, hey, I have arrived, I've gotten everything. No, we are here to ascend to our greater being, our greater well being, our greater sense of being. You
Mhm.
know, listen, we come from God. We are the seeds of the divine. We
Yes.
are descended into the soil, into the earth, into the planet Earth, if you want to get physical. But we're going to get metaphysical and ascend to our greater
Mhm.
yet to be. We are ascending in our spiritual awareness and our growth and practice and meditation and all that we do to be the best that we can be, not just on the physical level. It's not about being, hey, I got the great muscles and the six pack and all of that.
Right.
Yeah. It's about, is my mind, not just my brain, but
Mhm.
my mental exercises, are they
Mhm.
strong?
Are they strong?
And so this is what we're here to do. And one of the great exercises that we do, that we use, are affirmations. So
Oh,
we're going to bring all of this home
mm.
with our affirmations.
We're looking
And,
for you.
and it's so important to have a spiritual practice. This is where we get our spiritual muscle. This is what gives us the strength to ascend to our highest heights. Because what the seeds do when they're planted in the ground, and the ground can't be 100% solid, or a seed will never pop out of the ground. It's got to be some flow to it. Add some water, add some warmth from sun,
I'm having a
and
time
and
finding.
there's movement.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, it's going to be the last three.
The
We're going
last
to do 3 affirmations,
one.
and we're going to use them to assist us in our ascension, in our awareness, and in our mental capacity. And so, what I invite each one to do is to breathe, take in a breath. Now, I'll do the first one, and Leda will follow. And take in a breath. It says, "It is so. that I swim in the flow of consciousness, sowing good wherever I go. Let's do that again. Taking a breath. It is so that I swim in the flow of consciousness, sowing good wherever I go.
Mm. And let's take another breath.
What? Hold on.
Yeah, I'm trying to. There it is. The second one doesn't have anything on it.
Okay, hold on. So we'll just do.
I have it on the PowerPoint, and I can just say it if it's okay
Yeah,
with you.
go ahead.
All right. So let's take a deep breath and just go within. It is so that I choose to be for something and against nothing to create positive change. Let's take another deep breath here. It is so that I choose to be for something and against nothing to create positive change.
Take a breath. It is so that I am free to see and experience things differently, to have an uplifting shift in my life. Let's do that one again.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a breath. It is so that I am free to see and experience things differently, to have an uplifting shift in my life. And so it is,
So,
and now it is.
right.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Leda, and for doing that second one. Thank you so much.
No
Now
worries.
it's time for prayer. I'm going to do a prayer for the end of this shared conversation, and we'll have some more things to do after that, followed by a song. And so let's just go within, knowing that all there is right now, in the here and the right now. And now, oh, it stands to me for new opportunities. Welcome. So there is the solid air and the flowing ground upon which we live and move and allow the divine to breathe and have its life in, through, and as each and every one of us. And so I am so grateful to know that, yes, we get to say yes to sticking that landing and knowing that we are standing and moving and grooving on the flowing ground that allows us to have the shift necessary for our expansion, for our exaltedness to be revealed, for our evolution, most certainly for our ascension. And I know that this shows up in all of our affairs. It shows up in our relationships, the health, the wealth, and well-being of our relationships, of our financial situations, for our endeavors, that we are each and every one here for a divine reason, for every season. So I am allowing this to show up, allowing this to be the word that brings light of truth for each and every one. Believe it or not, it is so. Allow for each opportunity to be a learning opportunity, to be a lesson, to be followers of the word and deed. Yes, indeed. And so I am knowing that this is the truth. I am knowing that each one is saying yes in their heart, mind, and soul, moving past limitations of ego and fear and doubt and worry, and accepting the truth with strength, being available to do good, to claim good, to do good, to be good. And I don't mean just behave. I mean, that's be have. Yeah, we get to have the good that we desire. We get to be it first and last. It's all about being the good that we desire from the inside out, and making a difference in the world, making a difference in our world, in the world that sees us and knows that it too can be a follower of good and to be a leader of good at the same time. So I am knowing this truth and expressing it and sharing it and releasing it, knowing it is spoken into the law of divine right action. And so it must be so, it is so, and affirm it. And please join me by affirming it by saying, and so it is, amen, and now it is, right now, even now. Thank you, thank you. And that is, one of the ways in which we use prayer, the ways in which we say, hey, you're not alone. We know the truth as spiritual practitioners, we are professional prayers, as ministers, as practitioners, and everyone is a practitioner of truth. There are some capital T truth and some, lesser truth. However, we are all prayer professionals, ready, willing, and able to remind you the Spirit is full of power, charged and already within you for your immediate use. Use us. That's why we're here. Make a prayer request. It can be sent to revrod17@gmail.com, and you can call 844-295-5155, and your prayer requests are kept in the strictest of confidence. So again, use us. The operators are standing by, or if nobody picks up, leave a message. We'll get back to you. This is why we're here, to know the truth. So thank you so much. And I want to thank, while we're giving gratitude and thanksgiving, for those who have been giving. Thank you for your donations. We give thanks for your support. We are so grateful for your donations to One Love Center, and you can make payments go to our website, onelovecenter.org, and click on donate. Go to PayPal, or you can use the Cash Me app from your phone, or however you're able to use it. Cash Me app and the symbol of $CSL. $One Love CSL. And so in that way, you can contribute. You can make a difference. And thank you all who have been giving. Thank you who are considering giving. And thank you for those who will continue to give. Bless you and thank you. And we have affirmation of abundance. So prepare yourself, and you can do it at any time, even if you don't do it just now. You can give. And so giving, so shall you receive. Isn't that great? It's that the universe doesn't just give, there's a flow, there's a circulation of it. That's why it's a circle. It's a circulation. And we have affirmation of abundance. So feel free to energize yourself in your giving and receiving. And it says, money, as one of many gifts of spirit, is good. As I share my offerings, I know that I am actively creating a space to receive more gift, more money, and more good. And I am grateful for the ability to give and for the good work these gifts do in our center and in our world. And now it is. Thank you. Thank you. And it's about giving to where you're feeling spiritually fed and nourished. And so if you got anything from this, and from this conversation, from this talk, from this sermon, or whatever you want to consider it, feel free to give, as much as you feel safe and comfortable in giving. And may that grow, because the more you have, the more you have to give. And it's all about how we get to grow in all the different ways. So thank you so much. We do have some, I think we have announcements maybe. Most certainly. One Love Center is requesting a member, a friend, or a friend of a friend, or a friend of a member for technical assistance in managing our broadcast. We could always use help behind the scenes. Please contact us through revrod17@gmail.com or 844-295-5155 to be of service. Bless you. Thank you. We are still looking for more people to join the class Beyond Limits, move into living beyond your limiting beliefs by registering for our class Beyond Limits. Go to our website, www.onelovecenter.org/events. And going to bring back wonderful Leda on. Thank you, Angela, for showing up. Thank you so much. Good to see you. Good to have you. And for all those who maybe didn't put anything in the comments, we appreciate your presence.
And those in the recording, watching the recording.
Watching and the recording, whenever you get to do that. So thank you so much. And any final thoughts?
Just happy Christmas to everyone. I may not see you until after the holidays, so enjoy the holidays, enjoy the new year, and I'm just so in the flow of what is coming for us and keeping it all grounded.
Wonderful. Absolutely. And most certainly happy holidays, holy days, and happy every day is what I like to always say now.
Right.
And I say that because every day is a holy day, and we are holy people standing on sacred ground, flowing sacred ground. We're in the flow of life. And so, happy every day. And happy now day, let's just be in the now. And so we're going to do a closing prayer. And I invite Leda to participate, with a word or a few words. And then we'll have a wonderful song to finish. So as we go within, I invite each and every one to join in that high holy awareness, the high consciousness of life, of love, peace, of joy, prosperity, health, wealth, wisdom, all the good that we can name for ourselves and more. Yes, I know. We get to stick another landing. We get to show up, show off, and live life in the flow. We're not stuck in the ground. We're on the flowing support of life. We are grounded in the flow. We're allowing the good to express itself today and every day. And so I am blessing each and every one with the absolute knowingness that today and each day is another wonderful opportunity to be in the flow, to stick another landing. And I turn my word over to Leda.
And I am knowing and so grateful for the connections that we made here today and the words that were spoken and shared. I am grateful for all that is now and all that is yet to be, that it is all good, that it is all God. And I return it back to Reverend Rodney.
And it's all God. And so therefore, we know that it's good. We know that this word spoken into the perfect action of the law is bringing forth the good that each one is naming in their mind right now, naming and claiming it, knowing that it's already manifesting in ways seen and unseen, known and unknown. Just know that it is done. And simply allow it to be that good by affirming it, by saying amen, and so it is, and now it is. Thank you. We got a wonderful song. Stick around. We've heard it before, but it's just so much fun.
When I searched outside myself, confusion is all I found. Now I've learned to look within and standing on solid ground and standing on solid ground, on solid ground. When I searched outside myself, confusion is all I found. Now I've learned to look within and standing on solid ground and standing on solid ground, on solid ground. When I searched outside myself, confusion is all I found. Now I've learned to look within and standing on solid ground, standing on solid ground, on solid ground.
There we go.
Yes. Woo, powerful.
I
It
love
might,
that one. That was great.
yes, it is. And even though they're saying standing on solid ground, that solid ground is flowing.
Yes,
Woo.
it is.
Yes, I love it.
Thank
Peace and
you.
blessings, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you. All right. Be well, all. And, leave comments, even though it's over, you look at a recording, you can leave a comment. Let us know. And please feel free to share. Peace and blessings.